Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another amazing episode of the Pitchside podcast. And we have the champion coach in the place to be. Coach Jerry, welcome back. You promised to bring it back home and it's here.
Yeah, Nev, thank you for having me. Like I promised, it's here. We brought it back.
Number 2 of 3.
Yeah, number 2 of 3. The third one is coming. It's on its way.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Also, Donato.
Hola.
Yeah, man. Champion by association.
Champion by association. Thank you very much, sir.
Coach Jerry, tell us about the journey. Ivory Coast. How was it? First of all, when you arrived, the reception you guys received?
Yeah, look, we were well received in Ivory Coast, a very beautiful city, as much as it's very, very hot. But luckily enough, I'll still say we're a very lucky team.
Yeah.
We moved away from the city, from Abidjan.
Okay.
And we went down to the village in Korogo.
Yeah.
It's about 6 to 7 hours past drive, but we flew there, which I think that's one of the things that work wonders for us, so that we can be able to focus on the tournament without any disturbance from the city life.
Yeah. We've heard our Boteko tell stories about their travels into Africa and how they would be disturbed. Yoguti, you are in the city, staying in a hotel, and then they throw a party downstairs. And knowing Teko nightlife, fire escape. So you were saved of those things.
Yeah. On the other side, the players were very safe. We were at one place, but some of the technical team members, they had to go through a place in the life.
Okay.
They would always tell us, hey, coach, we don't sleep here. There's always a party. And I'm like, the players are very important here. Yeah. But we really appreciate the fact we were taken to City Care, in a place where it's quiet. It's only you go out and eat and come back to your rooms, No entertainment.
And coach, we normally speak about the mental side of the game itself. Looking at the pressure of coming back from losing this tournament in the final last season, going back to try and win it back, what was the mood like? What was the pressure? How did you deal with the pressure, especially for my players to handle this pressure well?
Yeah, Theko, I thank you for posing that question. It was very, very difficult in terms of trying to pick the girls up and say, look, let's try to forget about what happened last season, but let's try to focus more on what's coming. And sadly, it was the fact that when we started the season, the Hollywood Super Bet League, we didn't start good. We were battling. You can tell that the cohesion, it's not there. We needed to work the magic with the technical team so that we can give them that confidence to say, you've got to believe in yourself. And towards us approaching this tournament, we had so many injuries. A lot of players got injured, the likes of Bambanani Mbani, Rodam Lauti, Tiseto Makubela, Lelona Taweti. I was one of those who was a bit skeptical and say, will we get it back? But there was this positive thought at the back of my mind to say, I just got to push the girls and tell them they must have that faith and they must believe that we'll get it back. Eventually after our couple of 2 or 3 games in Hollywood Super Bet League, that's when I've realized that there's something here we can push, to the limit. And that's when I've realized that we've got the belief to say it's going to come back. And the girls, they also started believing to say we are going to reclaim the glory.
Yeah. Coach, on social media, I saw a lot of people speaking about, the Sundowns way of playing, the philosophy of how the girls were knocking the ball around, how they counter press when they lost the ball. It was just amazing to see.
Yeah, Naves, as a coach, you learn almost every day.
Yeah.
I believe that when I first got here at Sundowns, I remember my interview, it was with Trot. Trot said, we've got our own philosophy in Sundowns, but you as a coach as well, don't shy away from your philosophy, Yeah. And the other thing that's helping the team, when you look at a team and you look even first team boys, you can see a little bit of similarities. It's the fact that we as coaches, we go to the first team games. We go and watch these games and we learn almost every day. I remember, I think, one of the games that I've applied the tactics from first team. There was a game where Sundowns, we were playing Kaizer Chiefs in Shell Helix Cup. I was surprised when I see that the coaches, they've played Peter Shalulile. He was playing as a 9, but at some point when we lose the ball, he will drop immediately quick into the middle, but more on the side. And when on the left-hand side. But when I look at the game against Asfa, because they knew how we play, we normally play with 3 at the back. They were very clever. They've put 4 at the back, but the left back would always invert inside, you know, or the left back will always overlap, and the left winger will invert inside. So they were trying to expose that side for us. That's when I've realized, it came to my mind and said, remember the Shell Helix Cup?
Yes.
Drop Tolagele to that position so that when even if that left back goes up, we know that Tola, she's a more of a striker. When we off position, Tola, she drops as a midfield. When we get that position, we go up. So hence I'm saying those things of going to the first team games and watching football, it helps you as a coach to grow. And when you come across challenges like those, you can also refer to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, Coach, sorry, man, I wanted to ask as well. We did the World Cup together not so long ago.
Yeah.
And we can see that the standard of football from the ladies, it's way up here. What is it that you've learned about the tournament that you watch that you try to implement into the ladies team, especially going in such a prestigious tournament?
You know, Teko, I remember the other day we were counting the seconds in terms of the recovery of the balls. So hence you've seen my team even in this Champions League, you know, the counter pressing, it was out of this world.
Yeah.
So that World Cup has taught me something to say, if you recover the ball as quick as possible, you're denying the opposition the chance to have possession. So I think it's one of the things also that we try to perfect as a team.
Coach, let's talk about the defending. You guys conceded no goals.
Me, brah.
Hey, what type of coaching are you doing to make sure that there's 0 goals conceded?
You know, I always said, I said to the players, there's a good omen in this tournament.
Yeah.
And they kept on asking, Coach, what do you mean? I said, the inaugural one, it was from the 5th of November to the 19th. And we've won it without conceding a goal.
Yeah.
But we scored less goals. We only scored 4 goals, you know, and conceded nothing. So I said to them again, it's 5th November to the 19th. Chances are that history, it will repeat itself.
Yeah.
And when you start rubbing those things, when you start telling them those things, they also believe that history, it will repeat itself. And we've managed to do that, to win this one without conceding a goal. But, you know, like I always said, strikers will win you games, but defenders will win you tournament. You know, we were very, very disciplined at the back. And I think the type of recruitment that we recruited in the team, you know, it made a huge difference. You look in our left back position in Karabo and Dlamini. Previously, we had a right-footed player who was playing on the left, so which it was a bit of a challenge. But this year, as a technical team, we recruited players that fit perfectly into those positions, and I think that was the huge difference.
No, it was a big difference indeed, because you could see it. I think when we spoke about it right here on the Pitchside podcast also was the scoring opportunities that were missed and so forth. And we then also had Coach Rulani, who said the fact is 1-0 is still a winning margin, right? No matter how many chances you get, if at the end of the game, especially in a tournament, you win by 1-0, you still get your points on the board to move to the next group.
Yeah, for sure. It takes me back to our second game in a group where we've played SC Casablanca, where we only beat them 1-0, and we created so many chances, you know. Yeah. And I was like, what's really happening? Is it haunting us again?
I think it was about 16 chances.
It was 16 chances.
Yeah,
Imagine
16
out of 16, you only score 1. But what matters the most was the fact that we got ourselves a 3-point.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing, especially in a tournament, because that's what gets you to the next stage, right?
Yeah.
But also, Coach, I just want to get into the final itself, because I was more. It's the second most important thing for in football, besides the technical ability of a player, it's tactics. Because I saw that you made a sub at halftime. I just want to know from you, with all the aspect of the game, with all the counter pressing that you have, also all the position that you had, what advice that substitution, and what is it that you're trying to regain in the second half that maybe you thought in the first half you were not getting much of it?
Yeah, Teko, you know, there's only 2 reasons behind the sub that I've made. The first one, you know, we've learned the hard way. When you look the previous tournament where we got red cards in the final, you know, and it also rang back into my mind to say, look, our captain was sent off because of 2 yellow cards. Yeah. So then when you look in that game, Colossa was already on a yellow. Yeah. And you know, Colossa, she's one of those players who's very aggressive.
Of course.
So and I knew that the next 10 to 15 minutes, this SC Casablanca team, they will come at us. Yeah. And chances are that Colossa, she won't back off. Yeah. So we'll definitely go in and try to win the ball. And I was a bit worried and say chances are that she might pick up the second yellow. But the other reason behind was when I looked at it in terms of her game,
Yeah.
she was losing the ball more often, and I was like, she's not the colossus, she's not herself today, and which it happens in a game of football, and I felt like we needed somebody who could hold the ball in more for us, somebody who can start the play from the back, somebody who's a bit calmer,
A bit calm on the ball, yeah.
Exactly, that's when I thought of Oratile Mokoena. As much as we brought her in, because of the intensity of the game, she battled a little bit, but eventually after 10 to 15 minutes,
she acclimatized to the game.
to the game, and I was like,
Coach, we usually hear people speak about how we've lost the flair in the game when it comes to that third goal.
Guys.
I just want to know what was going through your mind, because immediately when that ball was played across, the simple thought is for it trap and then move forward, but that first touch in the air.
You know, Nevitiko, coaching players like Rama Bezo, man. Players like Rama, but there's one thing that I like about her, she doesn't shy away from expressing herself in the field of play, I always fight with Rama, always fight with Sebastian Mashigo, and eventually those players who are playing more or less same position, but what Rama did there, it was out of this world. I wasn't expecting that. When I saw her going up and controlling with both feet, I'm like, and I thought
Go final.
And I thought maybe she was still going to Ulkibel. And the good thing about it was immediately she did that, it looks like it also took some of the defenders out of possession. And she played it as quick as possible, which the run that was made by Tolagele or by Melinda.
It was superb.
Top run.
I think even just what she did there created enough time for her to make that run and be able to play the ball, leading to the third goal.
Yeah, for sure. That's what we always emphasize to say to our strikers: take that run. If the defender doesn't follow you, you got a chance to turn and go. But if the defender follows you, you took two defenders away, which it happened that the defender, she followed Melinda. And with Melinda, with that football brains, that kid, she's got football brains. And when you look at the 2 goals that she created, she assisted.
Amazing.
You would say, where bekakuphi sonke lesikhathi lo muntu wayesakavela manje ama-Champions League isiputuputu nje uyave. But credit must go to the girls. They've played well.
And coach, I just want to also know from the game itself, when you look, because I could see the demeanor that you had. You were so calm. Even the score was 2-0, even the score was 3-0. You're so calm, but you also knew that the game was done already. Especially after seeing East Place, Casablanca being moved aside, I could see there was not a little bit of a threat pumping. But also what I want to know from you is like what, from the experience that you got this time around with a bunch of players that you signed in with this team, where do you think now this team will go? Especially in this big tournament, because to speak about Mamelodi Sundowns men football team, it's dominating in African continent. Now the talk of the town is Sundowns ladies. Where do you see this team going?
Yeah, Tiko, before I answer your question, you won't believe if I tell you, Guti, I didn't sleep at night. A night before the final. I was worried.
No Guma.
Too much. No, I think I was in thought, because we've played Casablanca in the group stages. And you know what happened? They've played a low block. So now we played them again in the final, and I'm like, okay, are they going to come low block? Are they going to come open play? I needed to think a lot, And I did something which it's very strange. I asked one of our scouts to say, go into the media room a day before the match and ask their coach if are they going to apply the same tactics or not. So then you come back and tell me. And the scout, he went there and said, coach, French. And I was like, okay, now the way things happen, why I was so calm, it was the fact that I didn't want to put pressure on the girls. I had this other thing in my mind to say, Labanto Bang has an open play. I said, and luckily enough, they mixed their approach. The first 15 minutes, they sit back. And I said to the girls, let's give them the intensity that they can take in such a way that we press them very, very high. Why that? Because they've played their semi-final and they went to extra time. So chances are that when they come back second,
they won't be as fresh.
They won't be as fresh as they were supposed to, And I think it worked wonders for us. The first 25 minutes, we were already 2-0 up. And going back to your question, I know we have conquered Africa, but we as a team, we can't wait just for FIFA just to announce and say here's a Club World Cup. You know, just to test ourselves or just to gauge ourselves when we compete possibly with the Europeans, the North Americans, and see how far are we in terms of the standard of play on a club level. Because we can only see that on a national level. So we want to see on a club level if we are closer to them or if there's still a gap. You know?
Coach, is your fear then not like losing players? Because the more you perform at this level is the more eyes you attract to watch your team, which then means international scouts will be here soon knocking on your door for your players.
Nah, I'm not even scared, not at all. You know, when you lose players to better leagues, you know, and I think it will be a good thing for us to say we are doing something great. You know, and but as well also those teams when they come here, I don't like teams coming to Africa and exploit our players. Our players, they must go there
and be well compensated.
Exactly. You know, So, but other than that, I'm not even worried about that because we know we have made ourselves a foundation. We've got a development of the younger ones. Don't be surprised next year, as early as the Woolwoods League starts, you might see us throwing 4 15-year-olds in our first game.
Amazing.
But also speaking of players, Coach, with throughout all this tournament, is there any particular player that stood out for you besides your team?
Yeah, honestly, Tico, there's a 15-year-old from Ghana, from the team called Ampertakwa, Comfort Yeboah. She goes up and down. She's that type of season down the late season right back, you know.
It's a huge compliment.
I'm
telling you. She goes up and down, you know, and she's only 15. And when you look in number of assists that she made, and you look in number of goals that she scored, at some point even go semi-final, maybe she thought it was still the opposition goal. They were leading 2-1 and all of a sudden she's the one who scored it. But you know, honestly speaking, top player.
Hinting at something?
Top player.
Are you hinting at something?
Watch the space. There's also a striker from, I think she's from Mali. Kone. But she still needs to be polished a little bit. But I think if she can come and play with us, she's going to be something else.
So my so Africa, my just
Club World Cup.
Club World Cup. No bag announce we're still the champions of Africa. You know, anything that's got inaugural in it, here's Sundowns. Inaugural AFL, I'm getting a car. Inaugural Hollywood Superbet, I'm getting a car. Inaugural CAF Champions League, hey, it's a car. I bet any inaugural 40.
Coach, I heard the ladies now have a nickname for you.
Hey, names when
I wasn't aware of those nicknames, man. Unless I'm trying bangalinge bakubize bangibiza ngalele ngilazi.
Iliphi lelo coach?
Hey labantu bahlo. Mhlawumbe unames ufuna ukuthi bathi ngu-Oros. You don't know, I got lots and lots of nicknames.
Oros ile grand.
Abanye bangibiza ugoma, you know the couches, those bigger couches. Abanye bangibiza uTelitabi. Hey, Telitabi. But I take them because I also give them names.
I know ngilizwile lelo bathi haya samazlo wethu. Bathi umuntu lo makangakho Sundowns. Uyahamba engala yo 10.
Afake for outfit Oros.
No, amazing, Coach. Congratulations. Thank you very much for bringing it home. Like you said, I can't wait to have you back here. And we're going to line them up. Diani and Shompo were saying we're just looking over our shoulders, scanning the whole time because the trophies are here. If you want trophies, stay here. Trophies are here.
I was telling our editor, stay here. Stay here.
Trophies are here.
And also, Coach, the pressures, man. I think going forward now, because you're not just a team that just wins now. You're a team that sets the standards as to how to play football. So there's going to be a lot of teams that try and copy and paste as to how you play. So it's also a challenge for you as a coach as to how now you improve yourself as a coach, and how do you improve your team? So exciting times for me to actually see how the team can develop to become better and better going forward.
Yeah, it's true, Teko. It's true. I know we've set the standard very high. But
Yeah.
one thing I like about that about this team, it's the fact that when we playing under pressure, that's when we come to the party. But like you said, it's going to be a huge challenge for us. We need to improve the team, because other teams are watching what we're doing, and other teams they'll be gunning for our blood. But we are ready with the support that we get from management. We will definitely raise the bar once more. Yeah.
Awesome.
You guys definitely raise the bar. I saw there's a Netflix special that is
Indeed.
out. Banyana Ba style. Please log on to Netflix
Yeah.
and then watch it. There's nothing you are not doing.
Yeah, look, it's great. It's really, really great. People, they will understand, because some of the people, they just see us now that guys are winning the league and all that. They would understand where we come from,
Yes.
what really happened, what's happening behind the scenes. I like the fact that it will be shown on Netflix, so people can understand. We are also human.
Yeah.
We are going through difficult times. Yeah, at some times there are times where we are at our low. But we've got to come to training. We've got to push the girls. At some time, when you talk about this, I remember in Egypt before the tournament start, I had to call the entire team and say, it's either we make it or we break it. There was a bit of conflict among the players, and I had to call the players and calm the storm. And guess what? The storm was calm, and we came out victorious. So those kind of scenes, people, they'll be able to see them.
Nice
Yeah.
leadership.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you very much, Coach. We really do appreciate it. Looking forward to once again having you here. We want to scan left and right. We'll line up the 3 trophies here and enjoy
And
the
next time we
victories.
must bring the right bottle.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
orange
no,
one.
no.
The flavor.
Yeah, the orange flavor.
Narki. Orange.
This is the Pitchside podcast. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us your comments. We are Masandawana.
Gabriel.
Away.